Good morning. Good morning, everyone. Here we are. It is, of course, the news on, of course, the 27th, ladies and gentlemen. The 27th of the 4th, 2026. We are, of course, fast approaching the Ukrainian Red Boys time. We're fast approaching all kinds of other things. All you've got to do is sit back and enjoy the show, ladies and gentlemen. Enjoy the show. Welcome to the show. Hi, what's your name? Where are you from? Hi, welcome to the show. So, good morning, everyone. Here we are. It is, of course, the Freedom News on Monday morning, the 27th of April, 2026. So, joining us this morning, of course, is Kelly Close, Angela Davis, Sheila Douglas, Sharon Young, Chris Taylor, Joyce Guest, Lisa's in, Jan H is in, Diane Williamson's in, Graham's in, Sue Allen is joining us as well, Gradas is in, Sheila Brady's in, Jason Thomas is in, Leslie Ann's in, Brenda Corcoran, Glenn Pearson's in, Yvonne Keely's in, Anita Staff's in, Starry Knight, Strong Willed is in. So good morning, everyone. Hope we're all okay. 22 people, very interesting number there. All the twos, 22. All the twos, 22. All the ones, legs 11. There you go. The old-fashioned bingo calling there. So, well, welcome everybody. It is, of course, a good morning from the northeast of England. A beautiful day here today. The cloud has come in somewhat a little, but anyway, we're not really too worried about that. So, of course, let's have a quick look at what happened. So we've still got the White House debacle going on. Very interesting. Very interesting. If you are interested in that kind of stuff, you will have noticed that the whores of Babylon were basically present in the White House situation, and of course were pinching wine and of course drinking from bottles. I mean, I don't know about you, but I thought these ladies, supposed ladies, were supposed to be a little bit more demure, or should we say a little bit more ladylike. But here we found them pinching the 240-pound bottles of wine, stashing them in their handbags for maybe another night out that is yet to be revealed. Also as well, they were drinking from the bottles, which is actually quite an interesting situation. I mean, surely you could find the time to pour it into a glass and just, have a sip every now and again. But of course, the whores of Babylon do not really bother about that sort of stuff, because it's all, of course, about debauchery and, of course, other stuff. There has, of course, been suggestions that the event that took place was an exercise in security measures. Apparently, Donald wanted to test out whether or not the security was up to speed. And a very interesting analogy, and of course, we will wait and see. Now, meanwhile, SAS people are leaving the ranks in droves and droves and droves. And this is after the security breach that happened in the White House. Now, remember that SAS techniques, SAS security, and ex-SAS personnel are often used in security situations around the world. And the SAS, because they have trained everybody around the world, they are so embarrassed by the American security service that they are basically leaving in droves. So if you do find you come across an ex-SAS person at your local plant shop or garden centre making tea and delivering scones, you will, of course, know why that has happened. Very, very interesting. Now, apparently the shooter was a teacher, a male teacher. Some people are saying that he was part of the IDF situation, meaning that he could be possibly a Mossad asset. Very interesting. It really does go to show that teachers cannot be trusted, not only in the White House, but certainly not be trusted with your children. Very interesting, especially when they are talking about BDSM and bondage and dildos to your children. Oh yes, that's like a worldwide program now. Now, of course, teachers think that kind of thing is all down to child development at the age of 3. Now, I don't know about you, but I didn't find out about dildos probably until, I don't know, maybe I was about 16, 17 maybe. By that time, of course, my brain had matured enough to basically understand. It's all right, the phone's going. My brain had basically matured to the point where, of course, it was able to handle that type of information. Yes, very interesting. Now, another thing in regards to the White House was a very interesting thing that we've done a little bit of research into. Now, there was a guy there called Oz Perlman. Oz Perlman, a very interesting name, the Wizard of Oz, and Perlman. What is that sort of suggesting? Well, we've all heard of necklaces that are made of pearls, of course. And if you can understand what I'm talking about, you will, of course, be able to join the connection with the fact that this guy was called Wizard of Oz and Mr. Perlman, of course. Anyway, if you can't work that one out, send me a direct message and I will explain it to you. Now, this guy was what they call a mentalist, which means that he wasn't mental, but he was a performing artist. Now, very interestingly enough, Caroline Levitt, who had previously predicted that it would be an interesting night and shots would be fired during the event. And, of course, that Donald was getting ready to rumble. Caroline also challenged Dr. Oz Perlman to guess what she was thinking. Okay, that's quite an interesting one, because of course we previously had the gematria from our friend Jason in regards to the situation. Very interesting. Now, doing a little bit more digging, when Mr. Oz turned over the card, there was a single name, and that single name was Vivian. Now, people would go, whoa, you know, what's all that about, Vivian? Well, we did a little bit of digging, and we found out that Eugene Daniels, who happened to be the sort of head press secretary person, during the time that Vivian was introduced to the White House, Eugene said that this was bang out of order, because it wasn't according to press protocol. Okay. Now, when we're talking about press protocol, we are, of course, talking about the narrative that is being supplied by the press to the general public. Okay. Donald Trump turned around and said, no. He said, what he said was, he said that it is about time that the press pool, i.e. the amount of press, was opened up to people who are creating alternative content, such as myself, on the internet. Now, these people were then invited to, of course, take part in, of course, the press conferences from then on. This is around about 2025. Now, Vivian was a young lady. She was 9 years old, and she was brought into the White House by her mother, and she was also highlighted. Now, she wasn't very well. She wasn't very well at all. I think she had a tumor, and which she was fighting and having treatment for, etc., etc. And this is where the press said that this was bang out of order. You can't do this. Donald Trump turned around and said, "Fuck off. I'll do what I want," which, of course, the press didn't like very much. However, this was sort of a precedence that was set by Vivian. Unfortunately, Vivian passed away on July the 15th, 2025. Bless her cotton socks. And but the precedence by Vivian had already been set. Now, this is quite interesting because Mr. Perlman, Oz Perlman, Wizard of Oz, and remember that in the Wizard of Oz, okay, Toto drew back the curtain to reveal the Wizard of Oz that was basically running the whole shit show. Good and bad, by the way. Good and bad. Very interesting. So, was the message from Mr. Oz Perlman in regards to the press? And we did do a, and I haven't got it here, have I? I can't remember. No, I haven't. It's somewhere. It was all about the press anyway, and etc., etc. So, very interesting that very, very interesting that happened. Very interesting. Now, the other thing was, of course, was the arrest of the shooter, the teacher. Now, the teacher was arrested in naked form. I mean, seriously, naked form. Now, is this the fact that he was, telling us the naked truth? Maybe, maybe not. He was arrested also on a very interesting carpet. You may have picked this one up. I don't know. We certainly did, but maybe you didn't. Anyway, the carpet that he was picked up on, of course, was the Mercedes-Benz logo. Now, the Mercedes-Benz logo is a three-pointed star, not a six-pointed, a three-pointed star. So, is this the reversal of the pentagram? Is it the reversal of the pentagram? Used, of course, in satanic rituals and satanic signs, etc. And the other interesting thing is as well that the Mercedes-Benz logo is always depicted as a silver star. So, is this in reference to the star of the show will be silver? Very interesting. Will silver be the star of the show? Who knows? Good job I bought a few ounces. Anyway, we'll wait and see. And then, of course, the shooter was pictured on an Instagram post with, of course, an IDF jumper on. This was a couple of weeks ago. The Instagram post, the Instagram profile, has conveniently been taken down. That's very interesting in its own, isn't it? Not only that, of course, what else? Let's have a look what else has happened. Now, the BBC are once again pushing the fact that it's okay for Ukraine to bomb the shit out of Russia. However, when it comes to Russia retaliating, that seems to be a problem for, of course, the BBC. Very interesting. It's a bit like that little scenario in Gaza, where it's okay for Israel to bomb the shit out of Gaza, Lebanon, and anybody else that they deem fit, because, of course, they're the chosen ones from God. God, I'm going to actually fucking wet my pants when God comes down and these fucking fuckers realise that they are not the chosen people of God, but in fact, they are the chosen people of the fucking devil. Very interesting one. Can't wait for that little battle to kick itself off. Meanwhile, of course, yes, is the Iran war, the big question is the Iran war going as it should be going, or are there being quite a lot of lies told by the mainstream media? Yes, I would imagine that there are. Is it difficult to get to the truth? Yes, it is. Is it difficult to piece everything together? Yes, it is. So you'll have to make your own mind up, because, of course, we are in the Wheel of Fortune times. Very good. Now, what I see is chaos. I see chaos all around us. I see chaos in the White House. I see chaos in Donald Trump. I see chaos in, of course, the Middle East. I see chaos in the Ukraine. I see chaos in Israel. I see chaos everywhere. Don't you? Isn't that not some kind of a prediction for the end of times? End of times, so to speak. But anyway, now, apparently, according to Donald Trump, the king is very welcome in the United States. The king has Donald Trump has issued a statement saying that the king will be very safe in our hands. Famous last words. Now, wouldn't it be absolutely hilarious if the king was actually kidnapped and taken to some Iranian enclave somewhere and used as clickbait to be able to ransom the fact that the Federal Reserve is going to drop its fucking shite out of its pants? Very interesting that would be, wouldn't it? What a story that would be. The king kidnapped in America. And of course, what they could do is they could actually let Camilla go back to the UK to give to give the colonial British a message. You've got 2 days to surrender or the king dies. Oh dear, absolutely brilliant. Now, we all know about David Wilcox, of course, and there is a recent video where David was very, very upset in regards to the situation that he finds himself in. Now, I don't think that David was upset because of the timeline that we are now on. I think he was upset with the absolute chaos that these people are trying to create, even though the timeline is already set. Now, David, of course, already knew about the Project Looking Glass, etc. We all know about that. So the Project Looking Glass, basically the timeline, the end timeline, what's going to happen is already locked in. It's only a question of time. And I think that David was getting very upset with, of course, the bombings and the fact that these people will not yield. They will not yield. They've been asked to on many occasions. Unfortunately, they won't, and they can't, because that goes against everything that they have alluded to over the last at least 100 years that we know to, because of course we don't know about the true history, but we will do. And so David, of course, was very upset by this. I'm actually not upset by it because, the end of the day, the timeline is already locked in. Whatever's going to happen it's already set. It's already going to happen. These people are just basically, should we say, biding their time. And of course, David can't understand this and gets, and got very upset by this. But when you understand the nature of narcissistics, when you understand the nature of the paedophile, when you understand the nature of criminals, etc., these people will literally, they will prefer to die rather than admit the truth. And this is where we are with these particular characters that are now, of course, on the world stage. So, it's an interesting time. Very, very interesting time. And there's also interesting things happening. Now, of course, this is a really interesting one from Finland. Now, Finland decided to get rid of all of their rubber playgrounds. So, as you all know, a lot of playgrounds now are safe spaces for children. They have a lot of rubber matting made by, of course, old rubber tires. And these are mixed up into these compounds that initially look a little bit like tarmac, but they're actually not. They are actually rubber tires chopped up. And, of course, it allows a safe space for children. Unfortunately, what the powers that be didn't realise, or maybe they did and they did it on purpose, that rubber is one of the compounds that stops people from grounding to the earth. Now, as you all know, the invention of the shoe was quite a considerable leap in taking people off the planet, so to speak. Now, as you all know, indigenous tribes don't wear footwear in the Amazon and places like that. And the reason that is that because the sole of the foot is connected to the earth. And the reason it's called the sole of the foot is simply because that's where the soul connects to the electromagnetic grid of the earth. Hence the reason why people should do a lot of grounding, bare feet, on the earth, on the grass, on the sand, in the sea, etc., etc., etc. You also know that when you go into a wooded area or a forest, or you're just walking out in nature, you feel completely much better than when you are surrounded by artificial concrete and fucking bullshit coming out of Sadiq Khan's mouth. And so Finland realised, and they replaced all of their rubber playgrounds. And the most amazing part about this is that they simply allowed grass and dirt and mud to basically be prevalent in children's playtime situations. What they found was that within weeks, the immune systems of the children had improved by 50%. Maybe nature does have a very, very unusual way of course, making us ground and, of course, making us better. Just think about it. Okay, just that's a known project in Finland, by the way. It's all documented, so yeah, go and have a look at that. Now, today, of course, Rupert Lowe. You might not know about this. Rupert Lowe is basically this is the rape gang inquiry. Over the weekend, Rupert Lowe issued a statement saying that a number of officials and perpetrators who have escaped justice will be named and pointed out in Parliament. Now, Rupert is going to notify not only the police, but he's going to notify Westminster before he does this, in order that repercussions will be avoided, so to speak. So this is today. Okay, and Rupert Lowe, what he said was really interesting. He said that party political issues, whether or not they're Conservative, whether or not they're Labour, whether or not they are Reform, whether or not they are the Liberal Dems or the Green Party, he said that party politics should be basically put on the side when it comes to rape gangs, criminals, crimes, okay, of any nature. The truth is the most important thing. Party political politics do not matter. And I actually agree with that. You know, I think that the safety of the UK people, okay, is very important when it comes to illegal immigration. Forget your racism, forget your colour cards, forget your Afghan, forget your African, you forget your Iraqi, your Somalian, forget all that, okay? The safety of the UK, okay, should not be a political issue. The safety of the UK should be a common sense point of view. It should be something that everyone in the UK, including the minorities that actually aren't really minorities, it should be their safety as well. Remember that the minorities that the government are trying to protect are also at risk of the illegal criminals, the illegal terrorists, and the illegal mentally ill people that are coming into the country. So it really doesn't matter what colour you are. It doesn't matter what creed you are. It doesn't matter really what religion you are following. You are basically at risk, okay, from criminals that want to do harm and bad to your families. And this, of course, is including the police. It is, of course, including, the army. It is, of course, including everybody. So what I find amazing is that the police and the army, okay, are protecting the very people, okay, that are a threat to the national security, not only of the UK, but also of the world. It's a very, very interesting time to be alive. And the mentality of these people, the mentality of these people really, and I'm talking about the police and the army and the civil service and all that. The mentality of these people really has to be questioned. Okay. Now, let's put this into a broader sort of idea. So the police and the army and all of the other people are protecting the national security risk, bombings, murders, raping, etc. Not only are they protecting those people, but they are putting their own families, their own children, their own grandchildren, their own great-grandchildren in harm's way. Now, you tell me, you tell me from a common sense point of view, where is the common sense in that? If you are not prepared to protect your own family, your own father and mother, your own daughters and sons, and their daughters and sons, then who are you? Who are you as a person? Do you know what I mean? It really, really does beg a belief that these people are protecting criminals and putting their own families at risk. Their own families. And I mean, if I was the wife, okay, or the husband of a teacher, of a police officer, of a judge, of a military person, I would be asking them, what the fuck are you standing for? You are putting me and our family and our cousins and nephews and you are putting them at risk. Seriously. Unbelievable. And of course, when you think about it like that, it really, really does make you wonder about the mentality of the very people that are protecting the people that are creating a national security issue. Unbelievable. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, on that note, we are fast approaching 11 o'clock, and I'm going to get myself off. I've rattled on far too long, as I normally always do. I was going to keep this short and sweet, but of course, once I've had my second cup of tea, as Vera would say, I am actually on a fucking roll. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, I hope you all enjoyed it this morning. It's very nice of you to join me, and thank you muchly for supporting me. Very interesting week as we've got. Rupert Lowe, quick recap. Rupert Lowe today, rape gang inquiry. We've got the Ukrainian rent boy situation coming up within the next few days. We've got the king and queen, okay, visiting the shooter capital of the world, which happens to be America. Let's hope that they can manage to get the ballroom finished before the king and queen arrive. What else have we got? We've got all kinds of other stuff happening in, of course, the matrix that we like to call life. Anyway, very interesting. Oh, yes, and today as well, apparently farmers, tradesmen, lorry drivers and all kinds of things are protesting in central London about the cost of fuel prices, taxes and energy. And if you're one of those people that just think, well, it's just one of those things, I've got a question for you. At the moment, oil prices around the world are around about $80 a barrel. Okay, so oil prices around the world are about $80 a barrel. In America, a gallon of fuel costs you somewhere in the region of around about £2 a gallon. In the UK, that happens to be £2 a litre, which actually means that a gallon of petrol in the UK is just under £10, and a gallon of petrol in America is $2. The question that I've got for you is this, is that oil prices around the world are $80 a barrel. My question to you is this, is that why are UK motorists paying £10 a gallon and United States motorists are paying £2 a gallon? I'll leave that with you, because I don't know about you. None of it makes any sense. Take care, ladies and gentlemen. Love you loads. We will see you all again soon.